mash.
Welcome to the Whitetail Advantage Podcast with your host, Brett Bovin. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the show.
What is up, everyone? How's it going?
What's up, Brett?
Welcome to the Whitetail Advantage Podcast.
All right, I got a beef.
What's
Right off
up?
the bat. You put
All right,
my
you say your beef first, and then
you put my real name on the header for the opening of the show. Really?
yeah.
No, put the Squatch. I'm the Squatch.
What's his real name? The or Squatch? Oh, that's first.
That's
last
a good
name,
point.
The
Is it
Squatch.
the or Squatch?
Squatch.
He's trying to like Sting. Just one name.
Yeah.
Good point.
Sting.
Sometimes there's a T or, well, yeah. Stink, D,
Sting?
Stinky.
stinky.
Okay, we'll change it up just for you, you big fucking baby.
Well, you had it that way ever since the fucking show started. You retard.
Yeah, and then I switched it around, motherfucker.
Yeah, episode 162.
But nobody knows me by that. They all know me by the Squatch.
Hey, the way. You know
Anyways,
what? Fuck it. Just to
welcome
piss
to
you
the
off,
show.
I'm gonna leave it just like that. Just to do it.
All right.
You guess what? I
I'll
got
get back
control of
at
it.
you. I'll get back at you. It's all right.
Anyway, this is the fun show, as we're calling it, meaning we're not talking about hunting. We might dabble into it, but we're gonna talk about anything and whatever outside of hunting.
Okay, minus like I have a blank wall behind me, but you see like you even have a couple little sheds there. Squatch has that giant deer.
Mhm.
Dave has all them deer. What else do we do besides hunt and fish?
Work.
I mean, Brett golfs, but us three
Mike
have,
golf.
you know.
Dude, I got to tell you something. I'm really fucking disappointed.
Uh-oh.
What?
What's
My
up?
fucking kid's gay.
Oh, yeah, he's starting golfing.
Oh, no.
Good for him.
Oh,
There
Him and
we
his
go.
fucking tranny friends fucking went out, bought clubs, and they fucking identifying as golf clubs now.
oh,
He just got back from golfing with his buddies. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I used to respect you.
oh boy.
Not the Marine, was it?
No, it's the other one, the one that works with me.
So now you have one who's gay, and you have one that eats trans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sniffs paint.
I mean, that
You see that fucking harassing comment from Boondocks?
Yeah.
He said we're gays. He better have meant to say guys.
No, he said gays.
You fucker. All right, we'll fix him too.
man.
Boondocks commented, "Oh shit, the gays are on today."
That's it.
That's
That's it.
so rude and offensive. Why would you use
Does that mean like the people commentating?
Yeah. Yeah. They
Yeah.
should.
Just don't use that terminology on the show, okay? I mean, we don't need that type of gay language on here, okay? We
Hey,
don't fucking need it.
We can now say gay retards. So why don't you all stop being gay retards?
Yeah, no
Okay.
kidding.
Well, I'm minimally exceptional, so I can say whatever the fuck I want.
I'm part black.
No,
You
you're
are.
just a
You
ginger.
are.
And it's not from the waist down either.
You beat me to it, especially that black gay guy. That's me.
Why? Is it because you don't know your dad?
Ooh. Yep. I went to prison.
Hey. So
Let's see. Waist. What does that say? Waist down.
waist down. Black from the waist down, Brett.
I know.
And numb from the neck up.
Fuck yeah. No, we're talking about like. Let me ask you this: the debate of 100 men taking on a gorilla.
I don't
What do you
get
think?
it.
There would probably
that-
be 100 men that would be dead.
Like,
You
I
ain't
was
fighting
thinking
a
about
wild
this, that-
animal.
I think you'd have to have like the best game plan in the world.
Nah.
Not
Like-
really, dude.
It ain't
I mean,
happening.
look at a gorilla.
Not if it's a silverback. You ain't
It ain't
got a
happening.
fucking choice.
It ain't happening.
All right, Dave.
He's
think
gonna
about-
bite too, man. He's got canines.
Okay,
And
let's.
It ain't happening.
Who's gonna be the first guy that
Nope.
So somebody's got to be the first guy that goes at the gorilla.
Dude, the
You know?
first,
Who's
first
gonna
like
be the
20 or
sucker?
30. See, the first 20 or 30 would get killed right off the bat. But then that
Yeah.
gorilla has no stamina left. The rest, the 60, 70 men that are left,
Nah.
definitely just crush it.
But
So
I don't
part of
think
it-
your punches are hurting him at all, even if he's down.
You ain't hurting a wild animal, dude. No way.
Not like that. No punches. You ain't choking him out.
Well,
Nope.
I think
Well,
though,
the-
if you took like 25 guys and you put one on like each leg, then you just took the rest to like.
Yeah, but 25
Wham, wham.
guys can't fit around one leg.
nah, I've
You
seen
can't get
some of the
25
videos.
guys
Brett,
on a leg.
Depends,
They're all weighing
Depends.
like 80 pounds.
it depends on what bar you're going into.
That's true. The Blue Oyster.
so, okay. We're not talking about hunting right now. So I want to talk about something that really disappointed me this week.
You look
What?
in the mirror.
So we always reference movies, right? Hey, fuck you, Dave. So we always talk about referencing
fucking say
movies and stuff. It doesn't matter what he said. He's snickering. He's laughing.
Dave, that wasn't right at all, man. I can't believe you said
I'm
that.
So-
sorry. I had a
we-
moment.
We give Brett shit for not watching Police Academy, right? All the time.
We give Brent shit for not watching anything.
We get Brett
Especially
shit for
Deer in the
playing golf.
Woods. But I made a comment, or I made a reference to a movie, and I was hoping Squatch would get it. And Dave knew it right off the bat. The Sandlot.
Oh yeah,
Brett, have you seen The Sandlot?
Fuck yeah, I love that movie.
That's a
that's
classic
a
American
great
movie.
movie.
What was the line?
You're an L7 loser. In the movie, they say weenie.
Yeah,
Oh
we-
yeah. That's awesome. I love that
And
one.
Squatch is like, I don't know. And
It's
that is,
it's a sports movie. I don't watch sports.
no,
so it's
no,
not-
It's
dude.
not even a sports movie. It's
no.
a kid movie. It's like
I
a
don't even want. I don't watch.
They
movies.
just happen to play happen to hang out playing baseball.
When did it-
Imagine your childhood.
When did it come out?
It came out in the early
in
90s.
the 90s.
Yeah, I was done.
Dude, I guarantee you, if you put that movie on and watched it, there'd be a few moments where you'd have a tear in your eye.
Yeah,
fuck yeah.
Probably saw it and just don't remember it.
yeah.
Right?
With the big giant dog, you know.
You said dong or dog?
that
Yeah, don't get
wolf.
too excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get too
St.
excited,
Bernard.
Squatch.
It was a kid's movie, Squatch, okay?
I thought he said a big giant dong in the movie. I'm like, that made sense why Johnny was so all over it. I just wasn't sure.
I almost
Oh.
teared up though when I was a kid. I almost teared up when the fence fell on the dog.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah,
got
wait a
me
minute.
going. Because
Wait a
I
minute.
watched it when I was like 10 years old or something like that.
shit. I was in my 30s when that fucker came out.
Hey,
Hold up, because Michael gets upset. that
Michael,
apparently
the
we don't
fucking
recognize him, and he's like, "What are you guys doing? You don't see my text messages?" And then he'll fucking text me because I don't pop up as things. I can't
We'll
read
pop it
every
up.
comment on here, Michael. You little shitbag. But
God.
just for you, we'll stop the entire
Oh, and
show.
And this,
Yeah, let's-
and this is where it goes.
Here we
and
go.
You wonder why we don't pop your shit up.
yeah,
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
Hey, Brett, why don't you screenshot that, forward it to his mom so he'll get grounded for another week?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yeah. You know your child is using profound language on our show.
We don't use that type of language here, and we
Yeah,
find it
yeah.
very wrong and inappropriate.
You're a
Filth,
little-
filth.
We could write his mom. You're a little loudmouth, Long Island Lolita.
Yeah,
as-
Lolita.
has run amok.
Yeah, to run amok.
Shut up, you Long Island Lolita.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's funny.
Do you ever notice though in Disney movies, Johnny will probably know this. Dave,
Yeah.
Dave might. Squatch, I have zero hope in. In all Disney movies, the dad is dead.
No,
Yes,
in all Disney movies.
and all like in
Disney
like
movies?
like young generation, like the '90s movies, the
Yeah.
2000 movies.
I don't think I've seen any Disney movies from then. It was all like the 70s and 80s Disney
Pinocchio had a dad.
Let's
Yeah.
start off with
Papa.
Air Bud. Let's start off with Air Bud. Dad's dead.
movies. Geppetto.
Airbuds
I
like
know
you
it's
put in
his
your ear?
creator.
What the hell is he talking about?
Okay, maybe not all of them, but like 95% of Disney movies from that timeline, the dad is dead.
All right, so good for
I think
fucking
behind
Disney.
that one.
Huh?
Yeah, I didn't understand that one.
I just thought that was fucking weird.
But
I don't know. I just thought I'd point it out.
Oh,
right.
Well, have you noticed that everybody in the Disney movies is all messed up? Snow White, the Seven Dwarfs are jacked up.
Well, not even like the animated movie, like the real like Air Bud type movies, like real people type movies.
I don't know if I've ever seen like a real Disney movie.
all right, I can name one.
I think the only one isn't it Lion King or Disney
wait a
movie.
minute. Yeah. Hold on. Bambi had a father.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like a 200.
He got killed though.
Whitetail.
Yeah, but he had a father. He still had a father.
He had a pops.
Michael loves us guys.
Yeah, Michael loves us. No homo.
Speaking of Disney,
And the girls from Frozen parents making them sisters.
I see commented here. Speaking of Disney dads, Tarzan's parents and the girls from Frozen's parents making them his sisters.
Dude, Disney's corrupt, man. That's like
Disney's
freaking
crazy.
Wait, I heard about this theory thing. I'm confused though. Wait, Tarzan's parents and the girls from Frozen's parents, making them his sisters.
I've never seen Frozen, so I have no idea.
Oh,
so
I've been Frozen. But...
I've watched it because I got the kids. So Tarzan and the girls from Frozen are related.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Oh, I know why now. Because in the movie Frozen, the parents, they get lost out at sea, and then their ship crashes and dies, and then they elect Elsa to be the new queen of the castle area, whatnot.
They don't elect.
The theory is that they got stuck on an island, thus being Tarzan's parents.
You sure we don't want to talk about hunting?
We can now. Fuck it.
This is getting fucking gay.
This is getting. As soon as you said Disney, it went.
Starting to identify as a dildo or something now. Dude.
You're gonna be thinking. You're gonna be thinking the golf.
Right, here we go. We're gonna talk about real decent movies now. None of this Frozen stuff. All right.
Just you too, Mark.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and say a quote, and I want to see if any of you turds and did it. See what movie it's from. All right.
Gilligan's Island.
All right. Fucking movie, Dave. You old prick.
They made a movie on it.
The good stuff. None of that pussy stroll.
Oh, that's from Joe Dirt.
Absolutely. I can't. Dude, Squatch got that one. That's like one of my favorite
movies. Oh, you started? I thought you were just talking shit. I'm going through comments and I just hear you fucking yell at them. So I was just like, all right. Players of the Force. I just got here and you guys have gone gay already. Dude, we started going gay at the start of the show.
Yeah.
I was gay years ago.
Right.
What the fuck?
On that note,
wait till we do Brokeback Indiana this year.
Okay, let me ask you this. Would you rather be stuck in a mall with a gorilla or
You've already asked this question.
I have?
Yeah. Everyone said the black mamba.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. I think I'd take the gorilla.
I bet you would, you homo.
I'm just curious.
That's right. You're curious. That's why you take the gorilla.
That's why you golf.
That's why you golf.
Don't fuck with me and my golfing. It's my fun, relaxing time because it gets me a chance to get away with you gay bashing homos.
Hey, I got to ask you, have you ever gotten a fight on the golf course?
I almost did 2 years ago. Yeah.
That's my tee, you bastard.
No, like you walk up to somebody and you're like, hey, buddy, that's my ball. You think it's your ball? No.
So I hit.
Don't touch my balls.
It was basically like that, Dave. So what happened was it was a par 4. Okay. I hit the ball, and generally on par 4s, even if you think it's drivable, like if a drivable par 4 or you think you can drive it, you can either go.
All right, there we go. So I have Brett muted, so that way we don't have to hear his bullshit golf stories now.
I was interested to see where it was going to go.
Yeah, it's gonna go to a
slapped
gay
me,
bar
I
somewhere.
slapped him. He touched my balls.
Then you know what?
Whatever.
Brett's gonna come up to us one day and he's like, "Guys, I quit golf," and we're gonna be like, "Awesome, man! What are you doing now?" I'm bowling.
He'll have like real facial hair instead of that gay beard.
Nah, I doubt that.
No,
Yeah,
I'm playing
yeah.
pickleball. I
If
picked
he-
up
I'm playing-
pickleball.
I'm playing pickleball, guys.
Right now, he's playing just gay twister with all his buddies out at the golf course.
The flavors of the forest. You can't say nothing because you got a dick in your mouth.
There's other force. Do you keep 2 balls in your mouth when you golf?
Nah, just 2 in his hand.
One's back up.
Oh my god, dude! This has been like our viewers were like up, and then now they're down. They're like, what the fuck is this dude talking about?
Well,
I know. I saw on
It's
the
all right.
thing that we had like 10 at one point, and they're like, "Yeah, fuck this, we're done."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disney and golf. No
Now we're down to
way.
1.
Let me guess, it's probably Mike. He's got nothing else to
And
do.
he's
No,
not
I
even
have it
in
on
the
my
room.
phone.
And he's not even in the room. He's just fucking got the computer on.
Yeah, to make it sound like we got a guess.
He's
We got
probably
one
getting
guess.
smacked. He's probably getting smacked around by his mom. I saw
Yeah.
that.
Hey, we're back up to 6 now.
Hey,
We're doing something. We can talk about hunting. I don't give a shit. We can just.
Yeah.
We
all
can
right.
talk about
Why don't we
We
talk
can
about
talk about it.
this?
What?
Who here has been getting deer on their trail cameras?
me.
Me.
Wait, Brett,
Me.
you have trail cameras out? How come you never send us pictures? We're on this giant group text. We're all talking. I send pictures of my deer. Squatch sends his. Dave sends his pictures, and you're just silent. So this whole time we're thinking, oh, Brett must not have any deer in his property. Because maybe Dave and I went out there one day and put Irish Spring soap studs all over the place, you know? Hey, maybe that's working.
We're
Come to
teabagging
find
all
out
of
you
his
are
fans.
getting deer on your camera.
Yeah,
You know
I'm getting
what?
deer.
I'm going to step it up a bit.
I'm
Okay?
not just going fucking.
You know why
I'm
he
gonna
doesn't have
step it
trail
up.
camera pictures, right? Because his fucking lenses are facing the tree. We already know this.
No, he flipped them around. He just hasn't put batteries in
They're
them yet.
facing the tree again.
I mean, I'm going to explain. Okay, here we go. Look. See the round lens
Product
up there?
placement.
The round lens? That faces away from the tree, Brett. Not this way.
Oh,
Not
okay.
this way. It goes like this. See?
So either way, though, with that Moultrie piece of shit that you got right there, even if you face it out in the
Whoa.
woods, you still get.
Wow. Wow. That
Dude.
Moultrie piece of shit. Man.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
Moultrie has any of my videos that I've taken have been some of the most clear videos I've ever had.
I'm just
Wow.
kidding. If you like Moultrie, I support you and your Moultrie. What I think though is cool is that one thing though. Yes, I think that they could step it up though. At least just in my opinion,
What?
is clarity on the photos. But what I think is Moultrie is doing compared to others, at least I've seen as of lately, like they're introducing like AI, and you can break things down by.
Oh, you've been able to do that since day one.
I didn't know, like I didn't know. I knew about Moultrie, but I just never had it till you gave me theirs, Johnny.
Yeah.
So to see like the cool things that they were doing with it, I thought was like really sweet. And like I used to have wild game I still have the wild game innovation SD cameras.
Yeah.
And then
Stealth
I
bought
switched.
them out.
Huh?
Stealth owns them.
Yeah.
You got these?
Yeah.
You got these ones, Brett?
Actually, yeah, I do. Those are mine. I do.
These are old. I'll send you. You want me to send them to you? Because I don't use them anymore.
I love those.
Do you?
I
actually
have,
like-
I have
Their,
like 10
their
of them.
Terra X's take really good pictures and videos. The Wild Game Terra X.
I can send you. I'll mail these out to you because I don't use them anymore.
Yeah, I'll have them like all over the property and on just like little main parts of the trail. So when I just walk around the property, I just pull a card out and just pop it in there. I mainly use those for like inventory cameras, but I love them.
Yeah.
But then I got the Tacticam cells, and those are cool. Those kind of stepped up with what they're doing and stuff like that. With like you can break things down with like wind,
Mm-hmm.
like weather type of stuff, categorizing it and break shit down and barometric pressure. But Moultrie is also doing stuff cool with What was the one I thought was really cool?
Barometric
Oh, you-
pressure, moon phases.
Yeah, stealth
Well,
does
you can
all
also
that.
specify like I just only take pictures of bucks. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, mine will identify if you have somebody intruding on the property.
yeah.
You can
Assholes
set
with
it
golf
for deer
clubs.
only.
Mm.
Yep.
I like that where it only take pictures of deer.
Mhm.
Guys going
And
around
the
like
live
this
view.
with golf clubs in their hand.
Run around little pink tutus.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get my new ones though. I am like looking forward to using their new live view, so you can actually use it like a Ring camera.
That's
Which one
pretty
is that?
cool.
Which
The
one?
stealth, all their new 2.0s.
They got that.
There are no
feature?
SD cards anymore. They're all hard drive now,
Mine-
and they
the
have live
Moultries ain't.
view.
The Moultries ain't SD anymore either.
Yeah,
No, they haven't been
got
in a
rid of
while.
the SDs.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Tacticam actually did their new camera came out with live streaming now too.
yeah.
I thought that was pretty
the
sweet.
Moultrie?
No,
yeah,
the new-
Moultrie has had the live stream now for at least 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Because I had it's the Edge Pro or maybe the Edge 2 Pro. You have
Edge
it where
2
you can
Pro.
log onto your phone and you can see exactly how your placement is.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I can do that. I can do that. I can do a live video
Yep.
or picture to
Edge
see
Pro.
where you can watch it on your phone to make sure you're angled good.
See, that's what Brett needs because he always puts a damn lens facing the tree. And he'd be like, "Oh, I didn't get all the way."
But I
home
think
this
it's kind
time."
of cool where you can just open up the app and you can live view and watch it pretty much all day if you wanted to.
yeah, dude. You know how horrible that is when you're at work.
I know. And I got the
Yeah.
new 360 Pros too coming.
You
So
got the
they're the ones I can
360s?
see 360 degrees.
I'll tell you what, man. That Insta 360 camera that I got for making videos, that's awesome.
What?
Yeah, I was
what-
looking at those too.
We
Which one
we
do you
actually were
have?
talking about Johnny had an idea of like putting cameras. Well, first off, before I get to that, I didn't know when the camera that Johnny gave me, it was still linked to his account. But I had it on my account too, but he was still seeing the photos I had of me setting it up,
Oh,
which I'm
no.
glad I wasn't like naked when I was in my basement because
Oh.
I did have them downstairs.
I told you, man. You're like, no. And then, yeah.
All of a sudden, Brett's looking on Instagram and there's a bunch of pictures of him in his underwear.
Looking like
think-
this Buffalo
I
Bob
think-
from.
They're like, who? Johnny's like, who the fuck is this dude with my camera?
I
No,
think
Johnny
I've.
had a-
Them.
You gonna interrupt me now again, bitch?
Listen,
what-
loser. Well,
What camera do you have for the Instant 360?
That's it. Insta 360.
You
That's
got
the
the
name of it.
actual Insta. Yeah.
Insta.
There's some knockoffs, and then there's the Insta
Oh, like the
360.
fucking $400+ one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Dude, it's awesome. It's fucking awesome.
Hey,
And when
Brett,
you
whenever
edit-
you're-
When you edit the whole 360 picture like you're a cameraman in the editor. So
nice.
like when Frank and I were sitting in the blind and I shot the turkey, I was able in the editing to just turn the camera and view us to our reaction and then turn back out into the field. But
Oh,
you just
nice, man.
but yeah, otherwise it's only 180 and you have to select the 360 if you know, and then when it's in the editing you'll have that feature. If you got it on 180, you don't have the 360 all the time.
Okay, so that being said, I am horrible at editing my videos. I use AI a lot to edit mine. What
Yep.
do you guys use for all of your posts and stuff like that?
I use Snapshot.
Because I know Brett, Swatch, and Dave, you guys all have YouTube accounts and post awesome videos. I don't because I'm fucking illiterate.
Mine's
I
click.
told you to send me your shit, and then I'll do the editing part of it and upload it on the channel.
I know, and I need to. I'll just email you a whole bunch of stuff because I've got all sorts of videos. I just need to send it to you.
Oh,
I
actually,
just
no,
edited,
it's
I just edited
InShot.
all on my own.
Hey, did you guys get the picture off of Brett's camera? Remember he said he didn't know it was still on? Did you guys? I got it. Look, this is in his basement.
He's got little kids in his basement.
The
That's
kid looks
scary.
happy, though. I mean, he's doing all right. But that's the one that came up on
That's,
the camera.
well, that's before the chloroform kicked in.
Good God.
Here's another one. Wait, I got another one.
We went there.
Wait a minute.
I
Oh,
don't
that
know
was
what-
when,
How
That's
come
when
they're only
Ice showed up
Mexican
in his
kids?
house.
I don't know what's more disturbing, that the ease that you pull them up with, and
Yeah.
the fact that Brett has them.
Brett, that's off of Brett's camera. He sent me those photos. He said, look, my account's still open, and it took pictures out of my basement.
I think I hear Ice showing up at Brett's driveway right now.
I hear the door being slammed open
Being
right
kicked in.
Dude, I'm
Mr.
thinking
Bowman,
like,
we know you're here. Come out with your hands up.
I hear the scratching of fingernails at his basement door. Senor Brett, let me out. Senor Brett, let me out.
hey, speaking
Sounds
of
like chains rattling in the
cameras.
background.
that just went off.
What's that?
Is that Limpy?
Yeah,
that
that's
giraffe?
Limpy.
Oh, that's the one Brett winged last year and made it over to your county?
Man, Limpy is this deer that I've had numerous times now on my camera.
Or is he
And-
Limpy?
Was he shot? Have you
I
figured
don't
out?
know. I think it was
Yeah.
probably hit. I think it was hit by a car because I'm right in the city.
Oh.
So we'll see. I'm going to really focus on getting them this year.
Looks like his
One of
one
them-
side's kind of deformed. That's why I'm kind of wondering if it is from a car accident.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
It could have
You know,
been.
when they get wounded or accidents, it seems to mess up their antlers.
I've seen them snap their legs back in a rock wall.
Yeah. So I just got another buck on my camera just now. It's a Michigan 11 point, but it's a tall one.
Is he?
I'll send you the video.
Is that that same spot?
Yeah, same spot. So this is the spot I shot a decent buck out of there last year, and I shot a doe out of there last year. And I just never moved the camera and kept it there. It's a real good spot. And yeah, I just kept it there, activated it back up again. So now I'm going to send you guys the video. Man, see, this is why people need to tune in and watch our videos on YouTube, because if someone's listening to this right now at work, they're like, what the fuck? What are they talking about? What in the hell are they talking about? And we're showing pictures and everything. And
Right.
looking around, you see everybody looking down at their phone on this podcast. It's amazing.
I'm trying to get some photos here, but I'm not getting any.
He's trying to erase those photos of that little Philip.
Yeah, right?
Exactly. 'Cause before the cops
He's doing a quick Google search.
Hold on, guys. I gotta delete some
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Cops are here.
Oh, shit.
Here.
That
Hey,
wasn't
honey,
on
come
my
get this
phone.
phone. I gotta burn it.
That
He's
wasn't
searching
my
on his phone. Hey, what did Hillary Clinton use to wipe her phones?
Oh yeah.
That's that 4.5-year-old.
Michael, I thought we answered your question. He asked,
Johnny, that's a 4-point.
Is that a little 4?
Yeah.
Is it split at top?
Look at the top. They're split like real thin,
Oh,
Johnny,
yeah, look at that.
Johnny, you
Real thin.
like little babies.
You know, if that
I
was
don't see it. They're
if
forked.
that was
They're
a
forked at the top.
Michael, I thought we already answered your question. He asked, what are each of your go-to cameras? The thing that we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes.
Moultrie right there.
Jesus.
5 point and none.
Oh,
Jeez. Do you just
let me wait a minute.
do
Let
you
me
not pay
explain
attention?
it. Let me explain it again to Michael. Okay, here's slow class, Michael. Ready?
God.
See, Squatch has cameras right there. I have cameras in the woods.
That's my Command Pro app, and it links straight to my Hunt Stand app, so I can look at pictures on my Hunt Stand app.
Look at that.
And
And it actually tells me my GPS coordinates.
I got my Moultrie.
turkey.
I'm
Tells
so
me
happy.
exactly where my camera's at.
I've
What did
got
you get,
turkey.
Brett?
I got
What?
turkey.
No
I thought
way.
in golf they called it a birdie.
I got turkey. There's a turkey on my camera.
Oh my
Turkey,
God.
turkey, 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 turkey.
Okay, so you have turkey on private, but yet you don't hunt turkey.
I just don't have the time. Not like I'm not against it or like I'm against it or anything like that.
You can find the time, Brett. It takes
Dude, you
one
wanna see
day
a
to go out and
freaky
kill a
pic?
bird.
Look at this picture from the other night. I think a freaking spear in front of my camera.
I'm not going to look at a picture of your micro penis.
See that black cloud
Oh
But
yeah,
no,
in front of the
All
tree?
right.
That's
we
fucking
go.
weird, right?
That is weird.
Yeah.
What is the strangest thing you guys have ever seen in the woods, or the creepiest?
I saw a light that didn't bounce. It kind of was like an orb, and it moved pretty slow, but it didn't have like a person's bounce to it.
Yeah.
I was up in the up Adirondacks, and it was a field, and there was no back then. It was early 90s. There wasn't like those like LED headlamps or anything, but that's kind of what it looks like. Like I saw what it would look like now, and it didn't bounce. Like you can see somebody's, pronounced walk as they go. This thing just went like real slow. It was freaky, and then it went.
So, everyone knows I'm huge into that paranormal, Bigfoot, all that awesome stuff.
Love it.
Now, have you guys ever listened to or watched any of the documentaries called The Missing 411?
Yeah, I think I've caught it on TV a couple times.
So, Squatch, there's one in your area actually, and it's in the Catskills.
Yep.
And it's I'm actually watching it on my TV right now. It's called The Missing 411 The Hunted. It's the stories of all these hunters that have disappeared in like crazy weird incidences where like either they're never found or they're found like miles and miles away later with like just like weird scenarios, right?
Yeah.
I remember, not to cut you off, there's two that I remember. One in New York, where father and son, a grandparent, a godfather, a grandpa.
It was a hunting party.
Yeah, it was a hunting party of 2 or 3.
Yep.
In New York, and then they were like gun hunting, and they said they were only going to go for like 5 days. I think were you going to get to that?
Yeah. So that's the one I was talking about near Squatch, and what it was an older gentleman. He was a Vietnam vet, lost his eye in a reloading accident. He was reloading a bunch of shells, and powder went up and flashed his eye. Yep. He lost it. Well, him and it was his son took them out hunting, and there was the old men sitting there, and the young guys were out there driving the deer to him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all of a sudden, like they're like maybe 20 yards apart, and he just disappeared. Like no one knew where he went. They looked everywhere for him. The FBI came up looking for him. Like he's never been found. Like there's never a sign of any firearm, nothing.
Turn your fucking phones off.
I have it set off. That's me. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's but
you got yelled at by Brett. That's funny.
I know.
It's like dad. He's like your dad now.
Dude, I'm sorry, Dad. Dude, if Brett was my dad, I would have left a long time ago. Like that's all there is to it.
Think so? I don't think you would have. I think you would have took up golf and fucking rode around a golf.
Probably. Thank God my dad was an abusive alcoholic.
I like to shake.
Come on with your story though.
No, so it's I was just wondering, the weirdest things that we've ever seen in the woods, because there's all sorts of stories of like Bigfoot and Dogman, all this crazy shit in the woods. And what's funny is you have hunters who are always out there in the woods where we submerge ourselves in that environment. We're the ones who would be out there witnessing it. And I was just wondering if there's ever been any incidences where you guys see something that's not quite right and you don't even give it 2 thoughts until afterwards. Like one day, like Squatch, right? You saw that light and you're like, oh, that's weird. But then later on, you're like, wait a minute, that was really weird.
Yeah, it freaked me out. Yeah.
So I was hunting in my county, and I was hunting on private land for the early deer or Liberty hunt.
Yeah.
And it was like a 300-yard field all the way across. And I see this I see a black cat, right? On the other side of the field walking. And I don't know why. I'm sitting there hunting with a rifle at the time. And I'm like, that's that's a cat over there. No big deal. And then it like hits me like, wait a second. That's like 300 yards away. And I can definitely see details in that cat. That's a huge freaking cat. That's not like a house cat. And then I pull up my rifle. I was going to take a shot at it, and it goes into the woods. And everyone knows down here in Southwest Michigan, we don't have cats like that.
No.
Well, as according to the DNR.
Mm.
And then I saw that, and then probably like 2 weeks later, we're driving down the road, and my ex-wife sees one. And she's like, "What's that?" I'm like, I'm frantically looking. I'm like, "What is that?" She's like, "It was like a giant black cat or something." Like, but it's just one of those things where wondering if you guys saw anything in the woods where you weren't quite sure what it was.
I had one where I was young. I say that I've heard an owl in the woods before, but I don't think it was last year. It was the year before or 3 years ago. But I was hunting on the cornfield, and it's getting right at the last little bit of sunlight left. And then all of a sudden, I just hear a fucking owl just like going off. And he was like right next to me, but I couldn't see it. Like it was so fucking loud. Like I thought it was in the tree right next to me, and I can't see shit. And it's getting, and the way that it, like the tone that it was doing it, like the rhythm, whatever you want to call it, of how it was calling, like it would do. It was like off cadence or whatever, and it was just creeping me the fuck out, dude.
It sounded like an owl, but it
Right next
more
to his
sounded
tree.
like
He's
it sounded like someone. It sounded like something imitating an owl, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It just made me like. I was like, you know what? I'm like 26 to 27, 28 years old. I'm like I'm a 30-year-old guy. I'm getting scared out in the fucking woods right now.
It was the old man from freaking
yeah. This is your dad with a Jason mask.
no. It's what the hell's his name there from hey, you boys gonna
Family Guy.
over here?
The
Herbert
old man from Family Guy.
Herbert the pervert.
Herbert the pervert.
Hey there, Brett. Hey, you out there, Brett?
Stewart.
for you.
Now, here's the thing. You guys ever go into the woods purposely to mess with? So, Brett, obviously not you. You hunt private. You snob. But you guys ever like go into the woods with a purpose just to mess with people?
Well,
Like to mess with other hunters?
I had a guy years ago that had permission to be on my cousin's property that adjoined ours, and he was a deer jacking piece of garbage. And he would just like kind of bully my cousin around and just be like, "Yeah, I want to go here. I want to hunt here." And my cousin would be like, "All right, go ahead." I don't know why he just like let him go around up there. So I had stands up near the edge of the orchard, and he was encroaching, like coming up close to the the property line. So I seen him like 2 or 3 days before opening season. And he's like, "Are you hunting over there?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I'm going to be hunting up in that corner." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're going to go down over the ridge and hunt away from me." "No, I could. Your cousin said I could hunt there." I said, "Okay, that's fine." So I got my 3-wheeler with the open exhaust on it, and I freaking made hot laps around opening day.
Nice.
Nobody got anything, so
So
I could beat a bigger asshole. It's fine.
I've done one.
You have?
Yeah, I was a
On
dickhead.
private?
I'm
He
private.
did it to himself, so he convinced his wife
Did
he
it
didn't
to
have
his
to go
dad?
out.
What the hell? What an
Listen to this
asshole.
Did
scary
your
noise,
dad?
Herbert.
No, I didn't do it to my dad. So
Uh,
I was riding
Well,
my
you gotta
four-wheelers. We were at my. I was.
words are hard.
So when we moved at my parents' house, they still live there since we moved there when I was a kid. I didn't know anything about property lines and all this shit and that. I just saw woods. I had a 4-wheeler and I was just fucking gone. And I'm like fucking miles down the road. Okay. Anyways, I was going through these trails and I go up this big hill and I come up to this giant clearing and I'm fucking just doing donuts and circles and shit like this. And it's like June, something like May, probably at this time. And I'm just fucking cranking all this shit out. And then I come back out at night. I'm doing, and there's like this little mini hill. So I'm taking my 4-wheeler, I'm jumping up on the hill and come to find out that they were hunters, but I didn't notice at the time. So I'm coming back up to that hill again, and there's giant rocks right there. And I see a guy on a tractor. He looks at me. He's coming around that corner, that same corner too. And how he timed it up perfectly, I have no. It's just amazing. And he makes dead eye contact with me, and he just goes like this, and like, "Come here." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck no," and I put that forward in reverse, and I'm fucking gone. So ever since then, it's been like this bad blood between us, because at one point, a couple years later after that incident, I found fucking crayons. I found dead skeletons on their property, and I didn't know. Like, again, I didn't know property lines, so how I got on their property, I didn't know. And I thought, and they just been all poaching.
Brett on his dirt bike when he was a kid.
Four-wheeler. Anyways, long story short, it's been bad blood with us ever since, because I think
Oh,
3 years ago I put a tree stand up on our side of the property, and Jesus Christ. And they put on their side of the property, they put a sign up and it said, "No hunting on this private property."
stay back, Ginger, 500 feet.
That's my story. Fuck it.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So you talk about weird shit in the woods. I've told you the story before that my dad was chased by a Sasquatch.
You have, but you've never told us the full story. You've just said that.
So my dad
Scary.
my dad was 16, and he'd saved up enough money playing in the band and working down at this villa down the road from where they moved up here. And at the time, it was dirt road. It was no pavement on the road. And he would work in the kitchen at the place, and my uncle played guitar. My dad played the drums. And when their shift was over, the owner of the place allowed them guys to play a couple sets of music and make some extra money. So my father wouldn't leave that place till real late at night. Well, he's on his way home, comes down the hill. There's a swamp in the middle of the hill, and they had been seeing a big phantom buck that was crossing a lot and moving around and stuff. And my dad heard a big bunch of ruckus, so he stopped the bike, and he's like, "Oh, with the full moon out, hopefully I'll get a good look at this buck. Everybody's telling me he's a big buck." Well, he stopped. The deer came running across the swamp out into the road, and he heard this blood-curdling scream. It sounded real high pitched, like a woman screaming, but then it went into this god awful roar, and he just beat feet, man. He had a brand new 10-speed that he bought with the money that he saved up, and he's pedaling like a son of a bitch. And he's going up the hill. He comes over the hill, goes down, and he has to turn on the next road. And it was a hard 90-degree angle. He said he could hear the trees snapping, and this thing was just like running through the woods, breaking shit off. And when he made the turn to the right, there was a stone wall that was on the edge of the property. The thing tripped. When it tripped, it was swiping for his head. And my dad had long hair. It took some of his hair off. And my father said when that big mitt went past his head, he could smell like mildew, swampy, like just putrid smell.
That wet dog smell.
Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, God, I'm going to die. I'm going to freaking die. This thing's going to kill me." So he's pedaling his ass off. Now the thing's on the road. It's not in the woods anymore. He said he could hear the feet hitting the road behind him every time it took a step, just running. So he's pedaling. He gets down. He's got to come down a hill. My grandfather and grandmother were building the house, but they had a mobile home trailer that they lived in right next to the house that they were building. My dad threw the bike down, jumped off, got to the front door, and was beating on the door because my grandfather had chained the door shut, like, those safety locks.
He says, "You're on your own, bitch."
No, he didn't know what was going on. So he says, "What the?" He opened the door. He's yelling at my dad. "What are you, stupid? You're going to wake everybody up. Your mother's trying to sleep." Blah, blah, blah. He's like, "I can't breathe. Let me in the house. Something's trying to kill me." So he's like, "What's the matter?" And that thing screamed again. And it was running around the trailer. My grandfather loaded up every gun in the house. My grandmother had one. My grandfather had one. My dad had a gun, and my uncle had a gun. And this thing is just thump, 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 running around the house, screaming its head off. And my grandmother, I told you, my grandmother is Native American. She's Natchez and Blackfoot Indian. And she said some, like, I don't know what she said, but she said something, to my father that it's going to be all right. And that thing started getting a little quieter, a little quieter, a little quieter as it went away from the trailer. So my grandfather's like, if that thing comes back, just shoot. We're going to shoot to kill it, whatever it is. We'll shoot through the walls. We'll shoot it. I'm not going to play games with this thing. So my father was so distraught. He was like basically on a nervous breakdown. They got some rum, and they gave him some rum to calm down. And she said, go take a shower. We're out here. Relax. I already called the police. Go relax. So my dad got in the shower, got cleaned up, came back out. Did you hear anything, guys? No, nothing's came back. No more noises. Nothing. Same time, the police roll up, town cops. They told them what happened. The cops made a bunch of laps up and down the road with the old spotlights. Now, you got to remember, this is probably 1968, 1969. And, they didn't have, good shit back then. They just had their regular old lights and stuff. So they went around. They could see the trees were snapped over, busted out into the road, all screwed up. And they were like, all right, we're making a report, about it, whatever. We're going to ride around the rest of the night and see what we can find. So my dad went to bed, and the moon was still out. And he's laying there in bed, and his bedroom was at the end of the trailer. And he's like, man, he had that feeling like something's watching him, So he opened his eyes, and he saw the shadow of that pointy head. They got
that conical head.
Conical head. Yep. That head and ears. He said there was ears, like real pointy up on the side. And that thing was looking in the window by him. He slid down out of bed, got onto the floor, and he said he just laid on the floor. And that thing just freaking finally walked off, went back, and it never came back. It never came back. But the lake down the road, and that's actually where I show you guys pictures, where I got the camera.
Yeah.
That
Squatch
lake. Yeah. Well, that lake, 2 weeks later, there was a young guy, a little kid, and his father, and they were fishing by the lake. You could pull the car up by the front of the lake. And the kid goes, hey, Daddy, look, there's a big black bear on the other side of the lake. Now, back then, there wasn't bears around here until lately. The bears back then, we didn't have bears. They were up in the Adirondacks back then. So the guy's like, oh, knock it off. Leave me alone. I'm trying to read the paper to the kid. Dad, that bear's getting closer. It's getting closer. Shut up and fish, he tells the kid, right? So the thing's getting closer and closer. Dad, the bear's coming closer. The guy looks out. It was the freaking Squatch, man. It was coming around the lake, coming towards them. He grabbed the kid right off the ground, threw him in the car. They beat feet and took off out of there, and they went to the friggin' police. So there was documentation on both of those dates in the town records. It's still there. And, I always thought it was a thing like my dad was just trying to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid, not to take off and run away or do something.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, to this day, you got to one day we'll have my dad on, let him really tell it. But he tells it exactly word for word, the same time, same way, every time he tells it. And he's 74 years old. And I've heard him tell that story since he was like 26. So now, I asked my grandfather, I asked my grandmother, I asked my aunts and uncles. Everybody says that was legit. It was true. It happened. So that was one of the reasons why when I came out with the Outdoors channel and stuff, I just took the Squatch name. So,
dude, that's awesome, man. Now, we now have the origin story of the Squatch.
Yeah.
So now, how far are you from, I hope I'm saying this right, Horicon, New York? Horicon?
That's upstate. That's probably 3 or 4 hours.
because that's where there's been a lot of disappearances. There's the one that I was talking about. His name is Thomas Masick, I think is how you say it.
Okay.
But he was one that disappeared up there.
Yeah.
But,
I've had people ask me, they're like, what would you do? Because I mean, it's around the area, and I'm like, I've been in the woods my whole life. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, and obviously, believe me, it took me a lot to get over like walking in the woods, hearing that story when I was a kid. I mean, we used to have grouse take off, and it stopped my heart because, you know, it was pitch black out, and I wouldn't walk in with a flashlight because I was like, he can see me if I'm walking in with a flashlight. I'm like, he won't get me if I'm not walking in without a flashlight. So when I was a kid, I hardly ever carried a flashlight. I used to just walk in without a light. And, you know, I don't know, man. Like I said, people have asked me, what would you do? And I would kill it dead. I would kill it dead, and there'd be no ifs, ands, or buts, you know?
now,
I'm always carrying, I'm always packing. If I'm in the woods, it don't matter if I'm scouting, taking a walk, cutting firewood, I'm always packing heat. So it would die. I would totally annihilate it till it wouldn't move again. So
now that being said, what do you think it is? So
I feel because, and I think this is really truly the only reason why I haven't had closer encounters or running with it is my grandmother, with her Native American stuff, did something, whether she said something or did something to make that go away. And really, Sasquatch means the wild man in Indian. When you break, you know, the American Indian language down, Sasquatch means the wild man. And that's why, that was another reason. I'm a wild man. I'm always out in the woods. I'm crazy. I like to freaking, you know, have a good time. So that's why it's stuck.
You should have that cup right there.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, but there's a squatch on it.
Yeah. But, you know, I don't know. I really think it's prehistoric. It's Native American, you know, goes back to those days. I think it's 3-dimensional. You know, I don't want to sound like a crazy person, but I think it can appear and when it wants. I don't think it's like, you know, it's of a third dimension or something. But I mean, even at my gun club, there's a house right by the gun club, and that's up in the mountains. Like the guy that lives there swears to God he had one walk right through his yard. And I was ice fishing just this past year, and the guy said up on the ridge, one came down while he was ice fishing. So there's all these accounts. I can't disprove it. I did hear one night something when I was calling coyotes, fire off with the coyotes, and I rolled the window up and I left. And I don't know what it was to this day, and I didn't want to find out. But I think it's out there. I think someday they'll have an answer.
Did you ever see that?
You know,
I believe this was done in Oregon too. But you remember the outdoorsman guy? What's his name?
Yes, Survivor Man.
Survivor Man.
Yeah, Les Stroud.
Les Stroud. Yep.
He did a like before he did like 20 seasons or whatever, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Of just being out there showing survival techniques. And then once he got done with that, he was kind of doing like his own thing of doing weird things, stuff like that. And one of his things was going out to investigate Sasquatch.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to say it was up in the Oregon, Washington. Maybe it was up in the
He was up in Canada.
Canada part. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought he was in Canada.
I think he was in Saskatchewan, Canada, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was up in Saskatchewan.
Yep.
And the way that they had one of the locals there, I watched that episode years ago, and the way that they were describing, like, no other thing could do this, no natural elements could do this with wind and stuff like that. Like something else had to have done that with like the trees, like that, the way that they were positioned up there, and then they had like a giant like canopy type thing. And I thought it was cool, and it made me a believer that something's fucking out there.
Well, he had it where they were throwing rocks into his.
Well, then they ruined it.
Rocks.
These stupid fake Bigfoot, little mini Bigfoot they had on the video at like the end of the show.
Oh yeah.
Where on what show?
It looked like fucking Chaka from Land of the Lost.
Chaka, chaka.
Chaka fuck Will. Chaka fuck Holly.
Yeah.
Chaka fuck anybody.
But yeah, like at the end of it, they were like all like creeping and sneaking, and they got video, and he's got
They have like the
camera, and he
video of the
zooms-
tree where he's like,
Yeah, like they
Yeah.
zoom into the tree, and you could see like a little teenager.
That was
Bigfoot's
just me.
fucking
That was
head.
just me.
yeah, it was. That's
And I was
squad
like,
beating.
man, you motherfuckers, man. You had me until you showed Chaka. And then I was like,
Chaka.
fuck you.
That was just
Motherfucking
squad
scamming
beating his meat.
motherfuckers.
Second day of the season.
Because it was all pretty good documentary up until that point. If they would have left that out, it would have been really good. And I was like, oh, they had to ruin it with a fucking baby Bigfoot bullshit.
Did you see what Flavor said? He had a something throw rocks at his tent when he was in high school.
So I was talking with Nelson, and he sent me some pretty cool pictures a while back. He was up. See if I can find him here real quick. Because
I hear that's one of the most common thing though with
Oh, right
squatch
here.
encounters is rocks being thrown at you.
Yeah.
That's the picture Nelson sent.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dang.
He saw
Wow, that's cool.
that. And if you look, you have one there,
There's
then you
two
have
there.
another one way up here.
Holy shit, that's wild.
So,
Wow.
and that's going to be, I don't want to bring it up, but it's in the same area that I'll be elk hunting. And he said he found that when he was out there scouting for me and looking for a waterfall.
Motherfucking kid still going at it.
What's he want?
He
wants
the
to try a
camera.
free camera from you guys.
Yeah.
I thought he got one already.
I'm sorry, man. Mine are all in the field being used.
I'm broke.
I thought he got
I
one.
can't afford a
broke.
Mercury.
Brett has all my shit. So yeah, Flavors of the Forest just posted or made a comment. Took that at the mountain behind my house.
Hey,
And-
Wow.
the guy we had on, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 guys back. Remember he was saying he went up, he was turkey hunting and they got out of the woods.
Yep.
He was like, yeah, man, I looked at my buddy and he was like, is that what I think it is? He goes, yeah. He goes, do we need to leave? And the guy goes, yep. I was like, wow. And that was just out of the blue, man. That dude just brought that up all like.
So, I listen to all these podcasts about all this crazy shit. And, you hear this story of this one guy who was, I went out in the woods and I was cooking my meth and this goddamn Bigfoot came out and I shot him in the face. And
It was
you hear
old
those
Uncle
stories.
Louie got fucking shot.
You hear all those stories and you're like, all right, man, whatever. It's a cool story. But then you hear a hunter
Can't
story.
see it.
I know, I'm trying.
But like you hear a story of a hunter, a person who spends so much time out there. Oh, nice.
That motherfucker's got some spread toe action going on, man.
I did that in our sand pile at work.
I was
But,
gonna
like-
say that fucker's got some serious moose knuckle going on for his toes.
They're like, holy shit, you see what's out in the sandbank out back? I was like,
Let
no,
Johnny finish his thought.
Nah, man, we're good. But no, like you hear so many stories of like these crazy stories of, I was out there making meth and fucked Bigfoot, or I was out growing my weed and Bigfoot came by. But then you hear stories of hunters, and it's like Brett said, right?
yeah.
It's not Bigfoot. I heard an owl that didn't really sound like an owl or squatch. I saw this light that it wasn't a headlamp. It was just kind of floating straight. It was weird. It was strange.
Yeah.
It's always like we see this stuff, we report the stuff, or, we see it, we take it in, and we're like, man, that was weird. Then we don't say anything about it. Then you hear other stories of people just seeing the exact same stuff, and they're like, oh, it was Bigfoot, and then you start thinking, like, man, what the hell was it out there? What was making that wannabe owl sound, or what
just
was
like
that
that.
light that was floating
The
through the air
Mothman.
just like that?
There's the Mothman.
Clearly,
just
it wasn't
like that.
fucking Mothman, Dave. He's in fucking West Virginia, okay?
The Mothman?
Yeah.
What about the Jersey Devil?
Yeah.
Oh, we can get on to the Jersey Devil if you want.
or the Dog Man.
The Dogman is a huge. So I was actually on a podcast talking about Dogman not too long ago.
I watched that one.
Nice.
There we
I don't know,
go.
man. I ain't never had nothing weird happen to me, dude. I don't know. I've
It's
never
all right.
had
You can
nothing.
talk about it, Dave. It's all right.
I don't know. I think
Dave got
maybe it
probed
just
by some
knows
little
that,
gray aliens.
If you want a real that comment from my wife, that actually just made me think of
Yeah.
the who was it? God damn it!
Who's that?
Cody.
Who's that? Who?
That's my wife.
That's your wife?
Yeah.
I thought that was your daughter.
The
It's another kid in the basement. Got the laptop. Help me!
Please
Let
send
me
help.
out.
Help me! I'm in the basement.
the show with Cody Triplett from North Carolina.
Yep.
He was telling some stories that made me like, yeah, I ain't gonna go in those fucking mountains up in the Appalachians and shit.
Oh, you'll get raped up there just by the
Well,
hillbillies.
Like the stories he said, nope, no way.
Dude, I want to go down to like the LBL, the land between the lakes. Like that's huge paranormal activities there. And same, so like up in the Adirondacks for Squatch, north of Squatch where I lived when I lived in New York, huge paranormal stuff up there. And believe it or not, Brett, Dave, where we are, we're a part, well, not necessarily Brett because he's further out, but like you go from St. Joe to Ludington to Green Bay, like that, or not Green Bay, Minnetonka in Wisconsin. That's the Michigan Triangle. There are more planes.
The
More
UFO
planes
stuff.
have disappeared in Lake Michigan in the Michigan Triangle than the Bermuda Triangle.
I did, yep.
Mm.
And I was on a podcast talking about that one day. And Lake Michigan has a German U-boat from World War II, a Nazi submarine, right off the coast of Grand Haven, believe it or not.
Huh.
And then, I mean, it has Lake Michigan has the largest collection of P-38 planes than any other place right now.
Fun fact about the P-38 Lightning: you could stomp the floor in that, and it would turn whatever way you wanted it to turn.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of this paranormal and owls, you ever seen the movie The Fourth Kind?
You ever see that fucking podcast I did? Yeah, that fourth time scared the shit out of me, dude.
It scared the other shit out of me too.
Yep.
Like,
so
it seemed real. Like I wanted to, I strongly want to believe it, and I really do, but only because it's extraterrestrial and it's a movie type shit.
You want to get probed so bad, don't you?
I do, with no lube
Please,
either.
somebody come and talk to me, please.
He wants Gojo.
Yeah.
No, but they put actual clips from the actual recordings of the wife and the husband.
yeah,
And the actual movie and actual dash cam video footage from the cruiser of the what appears to be a spaceship hovering over the house, then abducts the daughter.
the son who was never seen again.
No, it was the daughter. The son, they abducted the daughter, and the son to this day still thinks the mom had something to do with it.
Oh,
and
that's
doesn't
right.
talk
I
to
had
her
it
anymore.
switched.
And it was years later where they interviewed her at a very, like, I want to say old age, but she was like in her 70s or something like that. And she was in a wheelchair, and they were doing the ending credits of it. And they said the son still has yet to talk to her, his mom, because of that incident.
And you know what the craziest thing about that movie is when the aliens or whatever they were are speaking and they have it recorded in that therapy session. Remember that scene?
Mhm.
It was in Aramaic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A dead language.
Yes. And do you remember what they were saying?
Said
Oh, the
Brent's
one
got a
when they
hot
were in
head.
the house?
Yeah. They were talking about how there's nothing after this. There is no God. There is no peace. We're not, like, once we're done, we're done. Like, that's it. There is nothing after this. And it was terrifying. That movie. So
That's what they were getting at, because I thought they were just kind of like saying like this is the end for you type deal.
no, they're saying like the way that they're saying it, like this is the end. Like there is nothing after this. Like no matter who you pray for, there's nothing there. Like there is nothing. There's no hope. There's no so they're basically preaching to you that there's no use on anything. There's no use to pray or like praying. There's nothing like that.
What are they, like Jim Morrison aliens? This is the end.
Yeah, right. But what's really, so I went down this rabbit hole, and what's really interesting is, have you guys ever read or looked into Dante's Inferno, the book?
No.
So you guys know who anything about Dante's Inferno? He goes through the 7 rings of hell.
Yeah, that's just the extent I know of it.
Once he gets like the very first ring of hell that he goes into, he sees a sign and it says, "Abandon hope, abandon hope, ye who enter." Meaning, once you're there, just give up all hope. You're not getting out. And that's basically what these aliens are saying, but in Aramaic, which is the language of Christ. It's a dead language. Yeah. Which is funny because a lot of people are saying like these aliens, these Bigfoots, all of this stuff, it's like a Nephilim or an ancient little g god. Like the paranormal, the cryptids, and religion goes hand in hand. And so many people, once they go down that rabbit hole, or you're a giant nerd like I am, you can start like connecting it, and it's trippy, man. It's pretty crazy.
Well, in the Bible, David of Goliath was a Nephilim.
Yeah. Goliath was a Nephilim. And what's crazy is so many people, after the flood was to, so you have the flood with Noah and everything like that, and that was to cleanse the world. Have you ever read the book of Enoch?
Yeah.
So in the book of Enoch, if you read the Old Testament up until it gets to the flood,
Enoch was the oldest man in the Bible.
Yes. And Enoch was one of the only men never to die. God came down and got him.
Yep.
And you read that, and there's so many coincidences. And at what point is it no longer a coincidence? Like this is what I spend my days at work doing.
Yeah, instead of actually working.
Yeah. I did a paycheck to basically nerd out.
Well,
Dave,
wrap it up for tonight's
show.
Dave,
that was very interesting.
Yeah, welcome back, Dave, to our show.
Yeah.
It's changed a little bit since you've left.
Yeah, we've done a lot of different things with the show since you've been gone.
I didn't think it could get dumber, and it just did.
Well, we want to thank you for dressing appropriately with Brett's wife beater and showing your prison tat.
We're a testament to the Whitetail Advantage. So
there you go, perfect.
The white trash advantage.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving a fuck.
Straight out of Allegan's Woods.
Yeah.
Well, we've covered a lot of fucking shit tonight.
I feel like I freebased acid or something this last half hour.
Dude,
I feel like I got kids in my basement right now.
I see where that district.
Brett, you didn't want to talk about hunting tonight, and we sure didn't.
I think you accomplished it.
I think we talked about hunting for a total of 10 minutes.
We talked about some trail cameras, and Michael got all annoying with us, and we're like, you know what? Let's change this.
Okay, so literally.
Oh my God.
He goes from, he does this. This is what Michael does. He'll send a comment in at 9:03. Brett, what is the monthly cost of one camera? Literally at 9:05, a million question marks. I'm like, you give me a second.
Dude, does this kid not know how to Google? Is he like that one kid out of 17 million people in America who do not know how to Google something?
Usually, if you go to the websites, they'll actually tell you.
He's too lazy to Google.
Dude, get an iPhone, Michael.
These days where they expect people to do things for them.
Oh.
That's what it is. It's being a lazy shitbag.
He's got that white privilege.
He's got that white privilege card, right? I don't anymore. I got revoked because I'm black.
No, you got the ginger privilege, dude. You got that soulless.
There is no ginger privilege.
I got this.
I keep telling him there is. Man.
Ginger privilege is getting abused everywhere you go by non-ginger.
That's the privilege.
I can't. I'm in the black culture now. I am a.
So whoa, how does that work being a cop?
What do you mean? Being black?
Yeah, being a you can now identify as a ginger American, African ginger American.
I don't think I've ever seen a black redhead in my life, dude. I
Yeah,
bullshit.
I have.
Dude,
I have. Many
Yeah,
times. More than once.
I'm not talking about dyeing your hair.
No. I've seen a real one.
Yep.
We're not talking about Brett, right?
I'm
No.
bald,
He's bald.
basically. I cut
That's an
him.
airhead.
Either way, talk
Airhead.
about a show tonight. It's been we've covered a lot, like I said.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to say before I just close it out?
No, just close it out.
I think I'm still tripping. Make it in.
Yeah. I think I'm on acid too.
Bad. I got a bad one, man. I licked the fucking brown rainbow.
Yeah.
I'll say it with you guys.
You
How
were
about
looking
that?
that frog from Beavis and Butthead.
Hey, Beavis.
You guys know what type of frog that was? It was a bufo. It was a bufo toad.
That's like a bovine toad. It's the
It
same
excretes
thing.
I
five
was just gonna say you
MEODMP.
mean a bovine toad.
The bovine toad, yeah.
The bovine toad.
5
Always on golf
MEODMP.
course.
Well, everyone, that's going to conclude another episode of the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. I hope that
Thank
made you
God.
laugh. If it made you think, made you laugh, give you new perspective, please hit that like and subscribe
We
button.
have more people watching us end the show than we had.
Guaranteed you didn't learn shit tonight, but
You know, you're like, oh,
If we made you switch to another podcast,
you know what it is.
We're grateful for
There are
that.
4 people that's severely stoned right now. And
That's what it
tripping
is.
balls.
They're equally
Yeah.
tripping.
And they're
They're
like
equally tripping.
watching
Wow.
this shit just blowing
They're
out
going
of their
down a
gourd.
rabbit hole. They're going to listen to
Mm.
all 160 some odd episodes and be like,
Yeah.
what? There's all hunting, and then this one episode changed my life, man.
Yeah. And they're gonna be
Totally
like,
changed it.
I was in the woods and I heard an Arabic Bigfoot talking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're watching on the news tomorrow. There's going to be like 4 to 6 missing people because they're all fucked up, and they went out in the woods looking for Bigfoot and got fucking lost.
They're like, so
And
this
the
one guy was
last they
talking
were heard
about,
of is listening to the Whitetail Advantage show.
they're talking about like an asthmatic Bigfoot or something like that.
Asthmatic Bigfoot. There you go.
They go out in the woods, they find
Dumbass.
aliens and Bigfoot.
if you listen to this on the audio version, give
Yeah.
us a 5-star
God
Yeah,
bless
rating.
please don't.
Yeah. God bless you if you do. Yeah.
The audio versions of our podcast
Yeah.
gets released every Monday,
You're a
Wednesday,
bigger
at
loser
5
than we
a.m.
are.
If you want to be a guest on the show, submit a request on our website, whitetailadvantage.com. You want anybody from Whitetail Advantage to be a guest on your podcast, submit your request through there as well. Thank you to all the companies out there that partnered up with us. Thank you to all the men and women in the military and police officers, firefighters, nurses, doctors, corrections officers, everyone in public service. Thank you for your service. And last but not least, put that cord in the slot machine. Enjoy a nice drink on us. The Buffalo,
That's good
whatever.
stuff.
Yeah.
If they ever want to sponsor the show, I'll be all right with
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah, we're just
Tippy
done
Cow.
talking. We'll see everyone on Sunday. Have a great week, everybody. See you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.